Hey fishy people, welcome back to the channel. Unfortunately, this is not going to be the most fun video to produce, as you know, our worst nightmares are kind of coming true down in Brazil right now. So an article was put out by science.gov last week that talked about an issue happening with glowfish. I'll link it down in the description if anyone wants to check out the full article. But first, before we get into the heart of this video and the larger issue at hand, if you're not already, please hit that subscribe button to the channel if you enjoy this kind of content. So the title of the article reads, Transgenic Glowing Fish Invades Brazilian Streams. Well, what does that mean? Well, we all have either seen or heard of a glowfish before. Blues, yellows, greens, reds, and purple fish that, when exposed to the black light, will literally glow. They are rather popular in the hobby and have been genetically bred to have this ability in coloration. It's not a dye or any artificial type of coloring. These fish were bred using genes from jellyfish and sea anemones to give them this fluorescent color. Now, unfortunately, for Brazil, these fish were not made sterile when they were genetically modified to have this ability. So people have had their glowfish breeds in home aquariums, which, perfectly fine, our fish breed. It's a good thing. However, it's not fine when these fish get out into the wild and get out of their farms and start producing. Back in 2014, there was actually a glowfish spotted in a canal down in Tampa Bay, Florida, but due to natural predation from other fish down there, never had a chance to multiply. This issue was actually first looked into when these fish were being first produced, that led them to being banned in several states and countries around the world for the risk factors that if they got out. Now, the fish in question in Brazil is a zebrafish, or one of the zebra danios, and unlike in Florida, these fish are multiplying. These fish were first observed in 2015 in a group in slow-moving creeks in Brazil's Paraíba do Sul River Basin. The difference here being that these fish did not have the same predators that they were found in with Florida's issue. So scientists began to check these creeks around the surrounding areas and found glowfish to be present in all 5 of the creeks they surveyed from multiple different points. So they began collecting and measuring these fish and checking what they're eating and checking their eggs just to see what was going on. The astonishing thing they found was that these fish were basically breeding year-round, which is the opposite of the native version of the zebrafish. And they also, another big difference is that they actually reach sexual maturity far sooner than the native kind, so they can begin breeding sooner. Now, the fear is that these fish will start to spread out of these small creeks and get into bigger waterways and start taking over and out competing native fish for food and water space. Now, the other theory is that with the fluorescent gene bred into these fish, they could slowly start to spread it to more native fish, which would completely wreck the ecosystem. Now, the silver lining here is that people believe that as these fish move out of these creeks and get into larger waterways, where there's actually bigger fish, they'll start getting predated on because the neon coloration will make them far easier to spot, so the predators can get at them easier. So right now they're in tiny little creeks. We're talking little itty-bitty creeks that have very little room for bigger fish. When they get into the bigger waterways of lakes, rivers, and stuff like that, there'll be much bigger fish in there that'll start to eat them. Now, this was a breach from a fish farm, but it happens all around the world with people dumping their fish that are unwanted in local waterways instead of disposing of them properly. So please, if you own a fish you can no longer take care of or no longer want, instead of flushing it alive down your toilet or simply going out and dumping it into your local waterway, try some of these tips instead. So try taking it back to where you purchased the fish. A lot of fish stores will have an adoption tank or an unwanted fish tank for people that can no longer take care of fish and can bring them back. Either get a store credit or just drop them off and say, here, I can't keep these anymore, will you take them back? I've even heard of some box stores doing this as well. You can try rehoming the fish to a friend, family member. You could also make a post on social media. There's a lot of fish groups on Facebook, Reddit, And you could make a post and say, hey, I have this flower horn. I can't keep him anymore. He's gotten too big for my tank. I don't want to get rid of him. In the local, area, is there anyone that's willing to take it? Same thing with, red-tailed catfish. That's another big one. Plecos. These are fish that a lot of people just throw in the water and then they become an invasive species. So you could try making a post on social media and maybe someone will say, hey, I can take this fish for you. You could try, selling the fish and recouping some of the money you spent on them. You could find a local animal shelter or fish rescue or aquarium or a zoo that might have some type of process that's willing to take these fish in the name of conservation and then make a display out of it. And as a last resort and the most least fun suggestion I could think of is humanely euthanizing your fish. If you exhausted all your options, it pains me to say this, but I'd rather see you euthanize the fish in a humane manner and dispose of it that way, either throwing it in the trash or burning it on a fire, than you just releasing it into the wild and having it go crazy. Now, the reason I'm not saying to flush your dead fish is because you don't know if that fish might have fish inside of it, fry. You don't know if the fish has eggs in it and they could get out and something might be able to fertilize them. Personally, when I have a fish that has passed away, I go put it in my garden or I stick it in a potted plant or something so that when it decomposes, it gives nutrients back into nature in a different way. So I guess the bottom line here to this entire story is don't be a jerk and let your fish go into the wild. Don't get an animal you don't want to keep long-term or can't provide long-term care. Same thing with cats, dogs, and hamsters and stuff like that. Don't get them if you're not willing to put a few years into commitment. Like some fish that we keep will last a long time. So don't get them if you cannot make that long-term commitment to keep them in the first place. And let's just hope that with what's going on in Brazil, Mother Nature finds a way to keep these glowfish in check. Otherwise, we might start seeing new laws and things get more traction in the realm of more strict import things, or more strict breeding laws, or having to register fish, or get a license to keep fish. I'm just saying, don't let your fish go. Don't give them the ammunition they need to make it harder for us to enjoy what we enjoy. So, thank you again for watching the video. I hope you did enjoy it, and if you're new here and enjoy the content, please hit that subscribe button. Leave a comment down below. Let me know your opinion on GloFish in general, on people letting fish go in the wild. Have you done it maybe when you were younger? I don't know. Let me know in the comments down below. Leave a like on the video if you enjoyed it, and I will see you guys around.